Peeps, when the most honorable JAMAICA Holness was selected for his second stint as Prime Minister of Jamaica, I had great hopes for him, because I am a Jamaican and I want what is best for my country. And I saw Andrew as a young man who was coming from a background that was less than ideal, and he rose from poverty and out of hard work and sheer determination became the Chief Minister of the country. But based on observation, I would have seen Andrew Holness done a couple of things that would have raised my eyebrows as it relates to whether or not Jamaica is a democratic society and whether or not the Jamaica Labour Party believes in democracy. As a couple of things that I would have seen him done and the party on a whole would have suggested to me that the JLP might be becoming a burgeoning dictatorship. I will share with you 5 such instances to support these claims.
Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
So Andrew Holness would have acted unconstitutionally when he would have issued or procured undated pre-signed resignation letters and issued them to 2 former senators, Dr. Christopher Tufton and attorney Arthur Williams. Right? So the main purpose initially was for them to abide by the decisions of the Jamaica Labour Party in relation to their stance on the Caribbean Court of Justice. However, subsequent to Chris Tufton siding with Shaw in the internal elections in the Jamaica Labour Party in 2013, Andrew Holness sought to use those letters to remove both Chris Tufton and Arthur Williams as senators, which was unconstitutional, it was wrong, and it was thrown out by the Supreme Court. Andrew Holness, instead of accepting the ruling of the Supreme Court, filed an injunction appealing the Supreme Court's ruling.
I savor the moment because I feel vindicated. Right? I think that the action was unnecessary. I wasn't involved in any internal contest, and I feel vindicated.
So Andrew Holness, who is a man who claims that he is for justice and for the rule of law, went and filed an appeal in the judicial court against the Supreme Court's ruling, trying to overturn the Supreme Court's ruling, which stated that it was unconstitutional to have these letters issued to these senators and to use them to remove them from the Senate.
View of many lawyers and constitutional experts is that Christopher Tufton and I can walk into the Senate next Friday and take our seats, because we are never validly removed. I think that outside of the politics of the situation, we have to understand that it is a ruling by the Constitutional Court that is of fundamental importance to the structure of our Constitution. It is going to be a guide to all future opposition leaders, all future prime ministers. It applies equally to them.
The Prime Minister would have overstepped again recently when in a public forum he declared that Justice Bryan Sykes was acting as Chief Justice even though the post was a clear vacancy post and his appointment would be dependent on his performance.
Today we welcome the Honourable Mr. Justice Bryan Patrick St. George Sykes as the new acting Chief Justice.
When the Prime Minister is not the one who appoints a Chief Justice, the Governor General has a jurisdiction to do so. So the Prime Minister would have erred there again, and it went on for about a month before Mr. Sykes was permanently appointed. Many eyebrows were raised, and many persons, especially practitioners in the legal fraternity, would have had concerns and questions, and they would have questioned the legality and whether or not it was constitutionally correct or not. And many persons agreed that it was not, and the Prime Minister would have made an error in judgment. But the Prime Minister just went about his business just the same. You understand? Obviously, he did not care what they had to say because he don't say what he say already. So when the National Identification System Bill was being debated in Parliament, that was the first time many Jamaicans were being made aware of its existence and the potential for it to become a law, right? And many persons would have expressed concerns, many persons would have raised numerous questions, and many persons are of the opinion that the bill itself and the implementation of a national identification system is in itself not wrong. It is how it was was brought to the people, right? It was as if it was a unilateral thing, something that will affect every single Jamaican. It's like it's a backdoor Jim Screechy thing, and it is how it was brought about. And in public forums, the Prime Minister would have probably, in some person's opinion, gotten upset when persons questioned him about the tenets of the bill.
But I just wanted to know, can you now get your NHT benefit without providing identification? I just wanted to know. And the answer is no. No, you can't. Secondly, and let's be clear,
Hang on, Thomas, you don't get a second chance. So sorry, you already asked.
You've asked
It's
your
rhetorical.
question.
No, you already asked.
Oh, it was
I'm
rhetorical.
sorry.
Okay, fine. Like many other things, it's rhetorical. But no, it is not good. You know what I reject? Do you know what I reject? I reject the view that somehow you have a higher moral authority on this matter than I do. I am not here to create, and I make that point very seriously, from consultation. I am here facing the questions. Unlike most, I am facing the questions and answering them. And I will go to every church in Jamaica, I will go to every room, every house, and I will answer them.
So for me, the bill in itself is not even the issue here, because I think that the bill will help the country, especially in crime fighting, going forward if it is used correctly, even though there are aspects of the bill that are a bit too intrusive and there are questions as it relates to persons' privacy. But it is how the bill was brought to the people. This is something that would have affected every single Jamaican citizen. Why not bring the thing to people? Embark on a public education campaign. Gauge the thought process of the people, whether or not it will be implemented, yes or no. Get the persons involved. Even if you don't care what people think, then pretend to care then. You understand? Jamaica is supposed to be a democratic state. Show that. You understand? So it would come across as it was a unilateral thing, and whatever we say, I saw it all go, and the people them just have to take it. And I think that is signs that this country is not as democratic as you would want to think. Former Minister of National Security Derek Smith would have been ailing for some time, and he would have been the standing MP for Northwest St. Andrew. He would have announced that he was going to step away from representational politics, and as such, Northwest St. Andrew would need a political representative from the Jamaica Labour Party. His son, Dwayne Smith, would have been groomed by his father to take over from him, and Smith would have stated that his son is the person that he is in support of, and he's a person who he thinks the people of the constituency would want. The hierarchy of the Jamaica Labour Party did not see Mr. Smith's wishes as being something that they needed to have entertained, as Senator Nigel Clark would have been selected and planted in the Northwest St. Andrew constituency. Very good friend of Andrew Holness, I am learning, right? Now, if you have somebody on the ground for years shadowing his father, learning the ins and outs of the constituency, and you have somebody else who have ambitions and designs of becoming the political representative, why not take both of those two persons in front of the people in the constituency and allow them to make their selection as to who they want to represent them? This is not unprecedented in the country, as it would have occurred in both political parties before, but I'm thinking that this was a unilateral decision, and it does not encourage democracy or the freedom of people to choose who they want to represent them. Yes, Mr. Nigel Clark might well go there and do an excellent job, but here is a man who would have worked, put in the work, and would have had ambitions to represent his people who he know and who knows him, and he was not given that opportunity, and I think that is wrong.
Like, subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification button. Hey yo, we always up to something.
So the fifth and most current incident, which would have made me think that democracy is something that is fading and dictatorship might be the new normal in Jamaica, well, in the Jamaica Labour Party anyway, is the current public wage negotiation between the Jamaica Teachers Association and the government. The last meeting that was held between the two parties, the offer proposed by the government of 16% over 4 years was categorically rejected by the Jamaica Teachers Association. Notwithstanding, the government decided that they will go ahead and pay teachers retroactive money for the negotiation period 2017 to 2019, despite the fact that the negotiation has not yet been concluded.
It is not unprecedented that you start paying while negotiations continue. That has happened before. In fact, on many occasions as minister, I've been signing wage agreements when the increases have long gone. So it's not unusual.
And they are saying the government can do nothing more. The teachers are demanding a particular figure, while the government saying they can only offer 16% over 4 years.
The government is unable to make a better wage offer at this time.
The government are saying they want to move the negotiation cycle from every 2 years to every 4 years. The teachers say no, but the government obviously, based on what them say, them don't care, and they have decided that they will go ahead and pay the monies just the same. Where's the democracy? You understand? Whatever happened to collective bargaining? This is tantamount to disrespect and union busting. And I am thinking also that democracy is a dying art in Jamaica.
I have two lines that I keep repeating in my head. He said then, "My fellow Jamaicans, today the courts have ruled on a matter that potentially could have created a constitutional crisis. That is, if I had succeeded in my injunction." He continues, "As leader of the opposition, I have a duty to protect the Constitution of the country." I want to say that that statement applies more now than it did then. And I expect him to protect the Constitution of the country.
This video was made possible through the continued generosity of my patrons. To become a patron, follow the link in the description below.
Teach them! Hey, yo, hello! Send the message and make it reach them. It's teach them right here. Warlord representing.
Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment below. Remember to like and share the video. Don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content. Follow me on social media and check out the suggested videos on screen. This is Teach saying, until next time, walk good, my friends.